Hey, so tell me if this scenario resonates with you at all. Have you ever had somebody that you worked with, at least for several months, come up to you at some point and say, you know what, early on you were really hard to get a read on. I couldn't tell if you were happy, unhappy, mad, focused, enjoying what you were doing. You just were really hard to read. But now that I know you, you're great. I love working with you, I love being around you. Did that ever happen to you? It certainly happened to me several times in my career. And honestly, it didn't surprise me because when I started roles, I tended to be very focused. I would usually have a demeanor, an exterior demeanor of very serious. And the third thing is I didn't usually open up to people that I worked with in new jobs until I got a little comfortable with them. And I think this is common for a lot of us, right? So it's good to be mindful of the impressions that you're giving off. Not just the very first impression, but what kind of impression are you making around colleagues and coworkers and management and potential clients and internal and external partners or colleagues as you move through the early days of a job. And a couple ways to counter this, because it can negatively impact you. I don't think it ever negatively impacted me with people that I worked closely with, but it may very well have impacted me with other people that I never came to know because they were like, who is this guy? What's with this serious look on his face all the time? So a couple things to do to counter that. All right, number one is to make sure you smile. This is the simplest, easiest advice and most important, and I know you've heard this before. Make sure when you're in a new environment and you're around a lot of people who don't know you, to smile. That is the best. You don't have to open up completely yet, but you can smile and that'll be a way to let people in. Two is ask people how you can help. Ask people, a little bit about their role and ask people if there's anything you can do to help them. Now, don't overextend yourself to the point of irresponsibility and you spread yourself too thin, but ask people a little bit about their role and if and how you can help at all. That'll help draw people closer to you. And third, and the last step is as you get a little comfort level with people, definitely open up about yourself. It's really important to, tell a story, have a personal story. I've shared this before too. Have a personal story or two that when you're with some new colleagues at lunch or just talking after work or getting to know each other, that you can share about yourself in a personal story. Because personal stories do two things. They allow people to kind of come in a little bit to our space, to our world, and they usually find a connection or relatability point. If you have a really good personal story that's meaningful to you, a lot of people will find something about it that's a little relatable, and then you have a good connection with them, all right? So avoid giving off that cold impression early on. It doesn't make you a bad person. It never made me a bad person, but you can counter that by smiling, by asking people about their role and if they need any help, and by sharing whenever you can in an appropriate time and place a personal story to allow people in a little bit to connect with you, okay? Hope this helps. If you have any questions about growing your influence, communicating better at work, and building good relationships, let me know.